In this lesson, we'll be exploring how to use a dictionary to broaden our understanding of words. When we read and come across an unfamiliar word, we should always first try to reread the sentence to see if we can define the word using context clues. If we're unable to, we can always look at the word to see if we can determine its meaning using Greek or Latin word parts. However, sometimes when there's no clear context clues or the word parts are unfamiliar or not Greek or Latin, we must consult a dictionary to determine meaning. Dictionaries are an excellent source of information about a word and contain so much more information than just the word's definition. Although a dictionary is incredibly helpful and contains vast amounts of information, if we were to look up every unfamiliar word we encountered in our reading time would greatly increase. So using a dictionary to find definitions of words we encounter while reading should only be done as a last resort. With the advent of the internet and apps, using a dictionary has become incredibly simplistic. Instead of sorting through pages and pages of words looking for our word, you can now just type into a search feature on an online dictionary or in a dictionary app, and most of the information in a traditional dictionary will appear. In many new electronic textbooks or ebooks, there's a built-in feature that allows the reader to simply click on a vocabulary word that is being emphasized and the definition will appear, thus allowing you to keep your reading focus and flow. As a college reader, you will have occasion to need a good dictionary. Whether you're using a digital app or a traditional dictionary, it's important to understand how dictionaries are organized and what information a good dictionary contains. There are a lot of online dictionaries, but you want one that mirrors what is found in a good hard copy traditional dictionary. A good dictionary, traditional or online, should have the following components for each word clearly marked: word entries, pronunciations, parts of speech, definition, example sentences, and the etymology of the word or word origin. A good online or app dictionary should also have an audio clip of the pronunciation, related word forms of the word, and synonyms of the word. One of the biggest struggles individuals have when looking up a word in a traditional dictionary is finding the word. Dictionary authors and editors have tried to make this easier by providing guide words at the top of each page. Guide words are the first and last word that are located on a specific dictionary page. If I were looking for the word didactic in my Webster's Universal College Dictionary, it would appear on the page with the guide words of dichromatic and different, and looks like this. Each word that is listed in a dictionary is called an entry word or main entry. All word entries, whether they are single words, phrases, abbreviations, prefixes, or suffixes, are shown in alphabetic order. They will usually appear in a large bold-faced type, so the word didactic would appear in a dictionary page like this. You can see that the words are alphabetical and also that the word entry are in bold print. Now let's take a look at all the parts of what is in a dictionary entry. I've recreated what the entry for didactic looks like in a dictionary. After the entry word, there's typically a pronunciation guide for the word. In other words, it's a phonetic spelling or a phonetic way of saying the word divided by its syllables. If you don't know how to say a word, you could look to the pronunciation guide and it would help you sound out the word syllable by syllable. So, if for our word, didactic, the pronunciation guide would sound like this if I were to sound it out. Di-dac-tic. 3 syllables, and that's how it would sound, didactic. Following the pronunciation guide, you may see an alternative form of the word. In our example, there is an alternative form of the word. It's didactical. Typically, after an alternative form of the word, you'll find what part of speech the word is, such as verb, noun, adjective, etc. From the entry, we can see that the word didactic is an adjective. Sometimes you may have a word that can be multiple parts of speech. In those cases, the parts of speech will be listed, followed by the definition for the word in that particular form or part of speech. The next piece of entry is the definition, which usually will always follow the part of speech it is. A word will oftentimes have more than one definition. When looking up a word, you want to read all the definitions to make sure that you find the one that will make sense in the context the word appears in the text. In our example, the first definition for didactic is intended for instruction or instructive. Good dictionaries will also provide you with an example phrase or sentence for how the word is used. This is what a typical dictionary entry would be in a traditional dictionary. Let's take a look at what it might look like in an online dictionary. I'm going to use the entry for didactic as found on dictionary.com. You can see that all of the essential parts of the dictionary entry are there. It has the word and the alternative form of the word found at the top. There's also a pronunciation along with an audio clip of how you say the word. The part of speech is outlined, followed by the definitions. There's also an example phrase for each sentence for each definition of the word. There's also several additional helps provided in this entry. There's a link to synonyms for the word, additional examples of the word, and the etymology or word origin of the word. That concludes our lesson on how to use a dictionary and the basic structure of a dictionary entry. Although it will save you time if you try to define a word using context clues or their word parts, it can be very informative to look a word up in the dictionary.